7:44 p.m. Saturday, November 20th, 2021, East Coast time here in the US. I'm posing a question here. Okay, that's all I'm doing. But in no uncertain terms, the question is this. I don't even want to say the magnitude, but I'm going to say, let's say, did a 7.0 earthquake just strike La Palma? And to ask this question in a more conservative and low-key way, did a at least 6.5 magnitude earthquake just strike La Palma? That's my question. My answer to that is one, unless the cameraman showing that live stream was stricken by a hours-long seizure episode, then to me there's no other explanation than this seems to be the case to me. Either something was purposely shaking that camera on and off for a long time, violently, like I've never seen it before. The camera was shaking all over, okay? Now, we've had reports commonly all along here, last weeks and beyond, last month from now, of fives. Just a few days ago, 5.5 reported, downgraded to 5.1. And like I say, they keep downgrading them, so it's likely that there's already been a close to a 6, okay? A 6 magnitude. That's my opinion. Certainly, without a doubt, the upper fives, around 6, but I think it definitely has reached that. Now, my conclusion, my observation is this. If I have been watching this day in and day out, night and day, for all this time, observing the quakes, observing the screen, and seeing what's happening, I have never seen anything close to what I just saw during the night there at about midnight, actually way before midnight. Right up to now, I just stopped watching the live stream, so for hours this has been happening. Again, I have never seen such shaking, way more than anything that has happened so far. So that's my question again. Based on that, what I just said, is it possible that has happened, that there was a quake, could have been up to 7.0? Is that possible? That's my question, based on what I'm saying here and what I see, what I just saw, what I'm observing, being that it doesn't compare with anything I've seen, anything so far. Number two, the amount of magma far surpasses anything I've ever seen. It blows it away. Whatever's happening there now is extreme, way more than anything that has happened so far. My eyes don't deceive me, okay? This was Afar TV. I think it was feed 2. But again, if you listen carefully to what I'm saying, if you look at their screen and it says about 1 a.m., it'll just say 00 or 01 and then 00 minutes and then 00 seconds. I'm not saying go to that exact spot. My point is this. If you look to the right of the screen on the top where they show that box, I keep mentioning that, and you'll see at that stage there, you'll see what I mean of that picture of that magma, I should say lava, that's flowing crazy. Not only that, but look on the screen. It takes up the whole screen. I've never seen anything like this by far. This is so much worse, so much beyond anything that's happened so far. I'm just reporting on this again. I'm reporting this and as if asking a question. All right, I'm explaining what my eyes have seen, regardless if there hasn't been anything reported. Okay. Point 3, the sound. No sound while this is going on. I mean, the screen was like this, just like that. I mean, it wouldn't stay that way, but then it would stop a little, and then, I mean, it was going all over the place, all right? And there was no sound. Let me explain this. I don't know what they do, but it's obvious that they shut the sound down in some way where you could only hear it right near the microphone, and it sounds almost like silence, except for some annoying noises again. I don't know how they do it, but that's what they do. But in the background, I could still hear very low, like explosions as this was occurring, though it sounded very faint, but because it was being masked. But yet, this is my point. I could feel the table, the laptop. It was almost like I could feel shaking, even though it was so low, because the vibration, even though it was that low in the background, they made the volcano sound. They made that the background instead of reversing it. In other words, instead of putting it up so that you could hear in the distance the loud explosions, and if you could hear that, I mean, it probably would have shook you, would have knocked you off your chair, literally, because whatever was happening there, again, I just explained what I saw. What's there, you could go see it for yourself, but the sound was somehow muted or distorted or whatever you want to call it. And they do that with the video too. I've seen that it's countless. Every day I see it. Within like 5 seconds, it'll go from dark to light, and light to dark back again, whatever they're trying to do that for. And I'm not going to explain why, but they're trying to hide things too in the sky. All right, the objects that I keep saying are up there that seem to appear right above the volcano, large objects, which I believe are a big part of this affecting that volcano and the world. Okay, so I say I didn't see any report right now, and that's been going on for hours here. So there's been no reports of quakes there. I'm calling the bluff here. My eyes didn't deceive me. I see what's on there. You could go see it for yourself. Again, unless the cameraman or whoever was suddenly struck with an hours-long seizure attack, then there's no reason or excuse for saying that what I just said probably didn't happen. All right? If there was no good cause why that camera was shaking, like someone was shaking it or some other reason why it was shaking like that continuously, then that was happening. Then whatever was happening, the concussions, the vibration, the severe vibration of earthquakes and eruption, then that had to be the cause, okay? And if that was the cause, then I'm telling you, it just shook like I never saw it before. It made everything else so far look like peanuts, look like Mickey Mouse as far as what's happened up to this point, all right? Now, I may put this report out. There may not be any, they may not show that there's any quakes, report any quakes. I may be the only one coming out with saying this. Maybe tomorrow it'll look like, that I'm just making things up again. I'm just, get a false alarm and making out to be something that didn't happen. I don't know. I don't care about all that. I'm just reporting what I saw with my own eyes, my observations, and if that's what happened, which it appeared that there was some kind of huge, not only eruption beyond compare, but if that were quakes doing that, then those quakes were far, far stronger than anything so far. So there's been 5.5. This is why my reasoning is, if this is the case, okay, I just explained it. There was a 5.5, downgraded to 5.1, other fives, and they come in, they report them lower even at the start. So as I said all along, it's possible there has most likely been at least a very high 5 to even possibly hit the 6 mark. Again, my conclusion is, with all this, a lot of ifs, but if what I saw, what's happened, the magma, the incredible amount, just beyond compare, the whole screen filled with it, if this was caused by quakes, then ergo, use your reason, and it seems so much farther, so much higher in magnitude, so much stronger, then I can't see any reason why, again, minimally, mid to upper 6s, and possibly beyond that to a 7 range. Again, I don't know. This is just my opinion. I'm just some person coming on here, just, giving my opinion. saying what I saw. I'm not saying this happened. I'm saying what I just said. I asked the question, could it be possible that a 7.0, approximately that high of a magnitude earthquake just struck La Palma, based on all I just told you, considering up to now, I've never seen anything close to that. I've never seen the camera shake anything nearly that much and for that long. Unless there was a good reason for that, then there's no excuse. Then that actually happened, and it had to be severe, much more severe than a 5.5 or even a 6, all right? So I'm going to put this video out. If through the night into tomorrow nothing happens, there's no report of any quakes, what could I tell you? I'm telling you what I saw and heard, and saw with my own eyes, and my conclusion that there couldn't be any other reason regardless. And maybe I'm the only one that'll put out a video like this, and by tomorrow it'll be like, nothing happened. I can't help that. Again, even with the sound, I'm going to repeat that again. It's obvious that's being cloaked, all right? And I believe that if the sound was on for what I saw and the camera shaking, I would have been knocked off my seat, because if that was happening, then it seems like the sound of the volcano while this eruption, these trembling, shakes, earthquakes, if that's what was happening, if they were taking place at that moment and the sound seemed to be muted down, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how that's done, or how that would be done, but in other words, the actual sound of the volcano could have been like honed down or reduced, like, let's say 80 or 90% or more, because I only heard a very, very tiny bit of explosion sounds that continued to go off. But at the same time, I felt the vibration, so almost I could feel it. I could feel it when this was happening, all right? Even with the low, very low sound, whatever was going on with that. In other words, the audio doesn't match the video, okay? It does not whatsoever. And the microphone was just picking up the noises right close to the microphone. You could hear that clearly, almost a silence, any little sound. But what was happening there, you couldn't hear really anything. So take it for what it's worth. I don't buy any of this. I really don't. I don't care what's reported or not, or what they say or don't say. So I'm going to put this video up regardless. Anyone want, whatever it seems like, then that's what it seems like. I don't care. I'm not here to be sensational. I'm just telling you exactly what I experienced and saw, based on me following this day and night all along here, and what I've observed. And this was far beyond anything, no comparison, all right? There's no mid-5s or 6 if this was happening and these were actually quakes going on. It was way beyond that, all right? But I don't think it was the wind. I don't think it was the wind shaking the camera. Otherwise, you would hear the wind blowing in the microphone. That wasn't going on. And I doubt there's hardly any wind there at all, ever, really. It's always very, very mild. I mean, it would have to be like I don't know, 60 miles an hour wind to even come close to shaking that camera on the tripod or wherever it was. So I rule out wind. I rule out cameraman seizures. And in my opinion, that sound was totally muffled, 95%. This is, again, just my opinion, 95% or more of what the actual sound of what was happening from the volcano during this time, all right? Especially because there's so much magma, or I should say lava, again, flowing. I can't even, you just go look at it yourself, again, about 1 a.m., and look at the right of this screen on the top. You'll see at that point, you could really see how much lava was flowing. If you go back and forward, you'll see occasionally they'll change the image, and they'll show the magma, the lava again at different times. But it seemed at the time I'm telling you, it was the worst. Though I kept going back. I went to like 11 o'clock, then 12, and then up to now 1. up to just now, and it was still so much lava. I mean, the whole screen filled with it. I've never seen anything close to that. And again, was it the last video I did? I showed that huge, bright flash that took up like the whole sky. Not the whole sky, but so much area way above, even way above the volcano. And I asked the question, what in the world is that? That seemed like 10 or 20 times more than anything I've ever seen of white magma pushing up and making that much, an effect. Filled up so much of the sky there. And that seems so way, way, way worse than anything previously. And I said that in the last video. This doesn't have to really do with what I'm talking about here. I'm just going to say it because others may have concerns about what can be artificially causing, cause this to happen. Yes, definitely. That's true. That's absolutely true. That could be a part of this, and I believe it has been. So there's a lot of different variables involved in this and reasons behind all of this, and that's definitely one of them. So I'm not going to feel foolish, if nothing is reported overnight into tomorrow, and it's like, what? Nothing happened, that I came on here and seemed to make this big stir, suggesting that something, stupendous had happened beyond compare, and then it's like, oh, nothing happened. I don't care. I mean, what I'm saying is, I'm reporting what I see as the truth with my own eyes, my explanation for it, and I mean, that's it. If nothing else is reported, I'm reporting what I see and hear, and my conclusion about all of this. Okay, I'll put it this way: if there isn't some report that a much bigger earthquake than has happened so far all along here has happened just overnight here, then I say forget this, forget all of this, because you're not going to find out anything anymore. Okay, if what I just said actually happened and you're not going to find out anything, then forget it at this point. And if this happened, like I said it did, or that I'm saying it, asking the question, could this have happened around that 7.0? If it did, well, then it did. You know what I'm saying? And that's the point things are at. So I'll just leave it at that. Regardless, that's all I'm going to say. Regardless of anything, I'm just going to put this out there, and whatever is said or not said that happened or didn't happen, whatever. I'm saying what it seems like to me without a doubt. All right. I'll see you. Look up, this could be ready to really happen. All right. We'll be gone.